A very big hi to all of you. Let's have some fun learning about word books and burials. Now, in this chapter, what you will learn that about the Vedas, people in Vedic period, and burial sites at Inamgaon. Vedas. First of all, we start this topic with the history of this topic. The end of Indus Valley civilization around 1500 BCE saw the birth of a new culture. This period is often called the Vedic Age, as the Vedas were composed during this time. Vedic Age is also the age of the epics like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. We get a lot of information about the life of the people of this period from these epics. What happened when the coming of the Aryans? The Vedic age was characterized by the coming of the Aryans. Some historians believe that the Aryans were people who lived in Central Asia and migrated to India looking for pastures. As they were cattle herders, the group of Aryans who settle in India are known as the Indo-Aryans. Historians believe that they spoke the Sanskrit language and they entered India in batches, the earliest being around 1500 BCE. Some historians believe that the Aryans were not foreigners but were descendants of the Harappan people, as there were some similarities in the religious practice of both these groups. Though there is no clear theory on their origin, we know the Aryans made a significant contribution to our culture. They initially settled in the Sapta Sindhu, means the land of seven rivers region, which included the eastern parts of present-day Afghanistan, Punjab, and part of Uttar Pradesh. The Vedas. Vedas mean it is a Sanskrit word which means wisdom and knowledge. The Vedas are the oldest sacred texts of Hindus and are the primary source of information about the Vedic age. There are four Vedas: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. Rig Veda is the oldest Veda, composed about 3,500 years ago. The Rig Veda includes more than 1,000 hymns called sutta or well said. These hymns are in praise of various gods and goddesses. Three gods: Agni, Indra, and Soma. Agni, the god of fire; Indra, a warrior god; and Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared. These hymns were composed by sages, means rishis, priests, taught students to recite and memorize each syllable, word and sentence bit by bit with great care. Most of the hymns were composed, taught, and learned by men, and few were composed by women. The Rig Veda is in Old or Vedic Sanskrit, which is different from the Sanskrit you learn in your school in these days. Samveda, musical notes and chanting; Yajurveda, rituals and sacrifices; and Atharveda, spells and drama. The Rig Veda mentions Indus and its tributaries. River Saraswati has also been mentioned in the Rig Veda. The Gangas and the Yamuna are mentioned only once in the Rig Veda. Based on this information, we can make some conclusion. Based on this information, we can make some conclusion. Most of the people lived near the Indus and its tributaries when Rig Veda was composed, but people were also aware about the Ganga and Jamuna. The parts of Vedas, Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda, and Atharveda. Rig Veda means knowledge of hymns of praise, and Samveda, knowledge of melodies. Yajurveda, knowledge of sacrificial formulas, and Atharva Veda, knowledge of magic formulas. Now, the Sanskrit is part of a family of language known as Indo-European. Some Indian languages such as Asmiya, Gujarati, Hindi, Kashmiri, and Sindhi. Asian languages such as Persian, and many European languages such as English, French, German, Greek, Italian, and Spanish belong to this family. They are called family because they originally had word in common. For example, Matra, Sanskrit word Ma Hindi and Mother English. Now, some major families of language, Indo-European families, Tibeto-Burman family, Dravidian family, and Austroasiatic family. In Indo-European family, like German, French, English, Spanish, Greek, Sanskrit, Hindi, Bangla, Asmi, Gujarati, Hindi, Punjabi, extra belong to this family, and the language which belong to Tibeto-Burman family are which the language is spoken in northeastern part of India. The the language which the part of Dravidian family like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. The language which belong to Austroasiatic family like the which language is spoken by the tribes in Jharkhand and some part of central India. How historians interpret the Rig Veda? In various important information can we take about from the Rig Veda as it is given in your NCERT book also. In Rig Veda, which is a dialogue between Vishwamitra and a river. And in this, as like the dialogue between Vishwamitra and river, the Vishwamitra, O river, come down from mountains like two swift horses, like two shining cows, and that lick their calves. You move like chariot to see through the power of Indra. You are full of water and wish to unite with one another. Now the river dialogue. Oh, we who are the full of water move along the path of God have made for us. Once we start following, we can't be stopped. Why do you pray to us, O sages? Now Vishwamitra replied, O sister, please listen to me. The singer who has come from the distance with his chariot and carts, let your water not rise above our axles so that we can cross safely. Now the river replied, we will listen to your prayers so that you can cross the safely. Now the sages has compared the river with horse, cow, and chariot. He wants to cross the river. He is praying to the river for his safe journey. They show the following thing that the people of that period lived in an area where rivers were present. Horses and cows were important animal for people. Chariot was being used for transportation and wading that they cross the river through by on foot. Wading through a river was probably the only means to cross it. There must have been risk to life while crossing river. So, and one important thing, the manuscript of Rig Veda was written on the birch bark of tree, which was found in Kashmir about 150 years ago. It was used to prepare one of the earliest printed texts of Rig Veda as well as an English translation. I hope you have enjoyed this video.